Over the past couple of years, I would say that ad-supported has been really the growth engine for the streaming platforms. I think it's over 100 million folks have actually decided that ads are okay. So we are in a place, at KERV where we want to make sure that the users themselves, as they've opted in to say, okay, we're good with ads, are getting the best experience. One of the things we'd love to really see and focus on currently is using catalog integrations. So if I'm a user, I can then be prompted with, hey, am I a Walmart household? Am I a Target household? Do I have affinity to a Wayfair or particular brands? And then I'm then served the right sort of messaging from the right brands that I've already sort of had that value exchange with that particular platform. Using the KERV technology, what we are doing with our publisher partners is the contextual correlation. So understanding objects, scenes, locations, and ensuring that we are properly correlating them with those brands. And if they're opted in brands, even better for the user experience.
The ecosystem, the world in some senses feels more fragmented than ever, Brad. So with that in mind, wanted to know, what role do partnerships play in helping brands and publishers simplify the experience for consumers and easing that fragmentation?
Absolutely. So partnerships are really the key to ensuring that the consumer experience is sound. One bad apple can spoil the bunch. So if I'm a consumer viewer and I have a bad shoppable experience or interactive experience on one CTV app, I'm less apt to do it again on that app or on others. So from a partnership standpoint, what we really focus on is ensuring that with all of our premium publisher partners that we have a normalized metadata set. So having those partnerships across the board and then having the right partnerships on the platform side, so we have that metadata in a place to put it so buyers can easily transact against it. And then, the end yield result in the scenario is that as a consumer, now I have something that I'm more confident in, interacting with, transacting with, and just having a better user experience at the end of the day. So having those partnerships in place is really the foundational layer to all of that.
Brad, wanted to get your sense of the state of the value exchange between publishers and platforms. Are they thinking differently about not just ad revenue, but when it comes to data, when it comes to innovation, when it comes to long-term relationships, or is there a seamlessness taking effect?
Seamlessness is slowly but surely getting there. So the publishers now have the ability to unlock rich metadata sets against their premium content that they have never been able to before. But where does that go? So that data has to live somewhere for buyers to be able to transact and hit those KPIs for their particular clients. So the data has to be normalized and live in a platform that is able to ingest it, normalize it, and make it simple to transact. And that's been the work that we have really been focusing on over the past 2-3 years to ensure that it is that normalized data set. It lives in a place that's easy, crystal clear, and easy for a buyer to actually go in and place a buy on the behalf of their clients.
Brad, I wanted to know if there's one big change that you either expect to see, or maybe it's a matter of hope, in terms of how the industry comes together to make streaming more sustainable for everyone, viewers, brands, media owners alike.
Thinking about the consumer first is something that I think people got away from as they started to develop their apps, what goes on those apps, how that environment feels. But I think the consumer had been lost a little bit in that development. We see publishers now really, really focusing on how is a user entering my app, what are they doing, how are they exploring, what are they exploring, and how can we keep them on the platform to ensure that they're having a great experience, but that they come back, they watch our ads, et cetera. So it's been an evolution towards the consumer who the dollars fuel the entire business, and I think that over the next year or two, the sort of interactivity across all the platforms and the publishers and how a user is actually navigating is going to be a lot more seamless. And then, the rising tide raises all boats from a revenue perspective to really drive this industry forward.